Hi, my name is Salah Farzan bin Muhammaraki. I will introduce you to our background of the company. Our company is founded in 1991, Top Glove Berhad, the biggest glove manufacturer in the world, has grown remarkably. Top Gloves has begun the modest local business with a single plant and glove production line. Since then, it has grown to have a consideration 26% market share for a rubber glove worldwide. Next, I will go further to tell you about the fundamental of analysis, measure a security instead value from examining related economy by a financial factor. Instead value is a value of an investment based on the issuing company financial situation and current market and economic conditions. To calculate institute value, we will calculate based on the 6 items, which is the current ratio, price earning ratio, dividend per share, return on policy, return on asset, and lastly is a debt to equity ratio. I will go further to tell you about the liquidity ratio. To calculate the liquidity ratio, we need to calculate the current ratio, which is the current asset divided by current liabilities. Based on the current ratio of the Top Glove company, the capacity of the company to cover its total current asset with respect to its total current liabilities for the data above. It shows that there is an increased current ratio from the year 2019, which is 1.12 times, to the year of 2020, which is 2.01 times. It shows that the company have the ability in order to settle down the short-term obligation with their enough current asset.
Market value ratio can be defined as figures that are used to evaluate the current share price of a publicly held company stocks. These are invested to determine whether a company's shares are overpriced or underpriced. There are two figures in the market value ratio, which is price earning ratio and dividend per share. Firstly, to calculate the price earning ratio, the market price of Top Glove will be divided with EPS, earning per share. In Top Glove, the market price in 2019 was RM9.89, will be divided by EPS, which is 14.27. Then the PR we can get 0.69 times. In 2020, the market price of Top Glove was RM4.65 and divided with the EPS, which is 21.88, so it will get 0.21 times. Based on the data above, it can show that PR of Top Gloves has decreased year by year. Next, the dividend per shares that can be defined as the sum of declared dividends issued by a company for every ordinary shares outstanding. To find dividend per shares, the amount of dividend paid to common stocks holders divide with the number of common stocks outstanding. 2019, the amount of dividend paid to common stock holders was 217,393, then divide with number of common stocks outstanding, which is 1694589. So DPS, dividend per share for 2019 was 30 cents. For 2020, the amount of dividend paid to common stock holders was 371 and 804, and divide with number of common stocks outstanding, which is 1,319,825, then get the answer of 28 cents. This shows that company have stable of financial and have a good performance in the current market. Profitability ratio can be defined as the ability of companies to earn profit from its sales or operation. There are two figures in this ratio, which is ROE, return on equity, and return on assets. Firstly, return on equity. To calculate return on equity, the net profit of Top Glove will be divided by total equity. For 2019, the net profit of Top Glove was 367,546 and will divide with total equity, which is 2,554,141, then get the answer of 14.39%. For 2020, the net profit of Top Glove was 178,888 619,030, then divide with total equity, which is 619,0883. The answer will be 28.89 cents. This shows Top Glove is more effective in generating sales and profit as the percentage has increased from 2019 to 2020. Next, return on assets. To calculate the return on asset, that profit need to be divided with total assets. For 2019, the net profit of Top Glove will be divided by total assets, which is 5,688,205. They get the answer of 6.46%. For 2020, the net profit of Top Glove was 1,788,830 and divided with total assets, which is 8,705,964. They get the answer of 20.55%. It shows that the Top Glove have well invested towards their assets that can produce earnings growth and the company is in good condition.
A leverage ratio is any of several financial indicators that assess a company's ability to meet its financial obligations or how much capital it is the form of debt or known as a loan. A company's total debt is compared to its equity using the debt to equity ratio. A higher debt to equity ratio indicates that bank loans and shareholder finance are used more frequently than investor funding, while a lower debt to equity ratio by company shows that their financial is very secure, while the higher debt to equity ratio by company can be viewed as riskier by investor. So, based on the data above, the debt-equity ratio in the 2019 is 55.01% that decreased in year 2020, which is 3.66%. It shows that the Top Glove Corporation Berhad has a lower amount of debt in capital structures of equity. Next is technical analysis. The terms technical analysis commonly referred to as technical analysis to a method used in the financial market to assess and predict the future price movement of assets like stock, currency, commodities. Daily trend short-term trend is a short-term trend following strategy is based on the expectation that an asset price will continue in its headed directions and will not reverse back for the time that you have the positions open for. 1-month candlestick chart analysis for Top Glove for January 2020 reveals a bullish movement characterized by alternating low to high price action. The chart span from January 8 to January 28 highlight the upward trajectory of the stock price during this period. Starting at around RM4.61 and closing at around RM6, the stock experienced a significant gain, reflecting the positive sentimental in the market. The presence of a bullish candlestick pattern suggests that buyers were in control, driving the price higher and indicating strong demand for Top Glove share. While this analysis provides highlight into the short-term period action, it is important to consider longer time frames and other factors that can influence the stock performance for a more comprehensive assessment. Next, for the 1-month bearish. During the first month period from January 28 to February 21, the candlestick trend for the Top Glove exhibited a gradual bearish movement in the stock price. With a subsequent rebound toward the end of the month, the close price decreased from RM6 on January 28 to RM5.29 on February 21, indicating a decline in stock value. Although sellers dominated the market during this period, the late month rebound suggests a potential shift in the sentimental or renewed buying interest. It is important to consider other factors such as market condition, company news, and industry trend for a comprehensive analysis of a Top Glove performance.
Next, this is the part of the secondary trend, which is the medium-term trend for bullish 6 months. Based on the candlestick chart that provide for Top Glove over 6 months, the chart shows on the upward pattern, which is the bullish, that indicating a sustained increase in the stock price. Furthermore, on the 6th March, the close price was RM2.60, while on 6 August, it's significant to RM28.40. This price was increased in demand for the Top Glove product. And this demand also positively influenced the stock price that contribute the bullish movement in the chart. In addition, the demand for top glove was increased in the 6th March until 6th August. This surge in the demand was primarily driven by the outbreak of COVID-19. However, on the 13th March 2020 shows a bearish, and on 19 March 2020 it was decreased, and after that the share will bullish again. Then this is the part of the secondary trend, which is the medium-term trend for bearish 6 months. According to the candlestick chart for the top glove provide over 6 months, specifically from 6 August until 9 October 2020. During this time, the chart was a bearish pattern that indicate a potential market to decline. The stop price was decreased on RM28.40 to RM0.75. This decline can be contributed to the lower than expected utilization of the mask and the glove toward the end of the 2020. Then on October, the stock price was decreased due to the various factors. This reason because of the demand for personal protective equipment, which is the PPE, declined towards the end of the 2020. This is the influence by COVID-19 cases. During such a period, careful the evaluation of the market condition and also inform the decision making are the critical for minimizing potential losses. So this is the last part of the conclusions. To sum up, our group has examined the concept of the fundamental analysis and technical analysis as the two methods for evaluating securities in financial markets. Also, in this report, search into the principle of the fundamental analysis, which involve assessing a security intrinsic value based on the economic, financial, and the qualitative factors. And lastly is the findings of the TIS can emphasize the importance of the balanced approach that integrates both fundamental and the technical analysis. I think that's all from my group. Thank you.